let's watch this now. This is by I picked this video. I have not watched this video. I don't know what he's about to say, but he has 198,000 subscribers, so he's a pretty big YouTuber. And this particular video only got 1.6 thousand views, so that's like, you know, one of my videos sometimes get that too. Actually a little surprised about that. It's got 148 likes. This was like the top, so I chose this one because it was at the very top when a private window, and then I pull up YouTube and I punched in Algorand and saw what came up. So I was like, whatever one's first, that's what I'm going to react to. So that's what I'm going to react to. Now the title of the video is Algorand is super underrated for this big reason. It's a good title. It's a very good title, because you go, whoa, what's the big reason? I got to click and watch. Yeah, that's pretty smart. He's good. He's obviously got a good reach for a reason. So anyway, okay, let's get into this.
So one of the most underrated cryptos, in my opinion, right now out there is Algorand. And I've been invested in Algorand for a really long time. They're doing a lot in the RWA, real world asset tokenization space. But outside of that, there's one thing that Algorand has. There's one big reason why I think they are super underrated, and it has to do with the future of technology and how Algorand is positioning itself. They're a US-based company. They're a dinosaur. They've been around for a really long time. They're founders from...
I don't get this dinosaur thing. It's very confusing to me. I don't think it's been around that. It's like 2019. Is that a dinosaur? I don't know. It seems weird to me, but I know this goes around a lot. Also, they almost say that like it's a bad thing. I just think that's kind of weird. But whatever. Anyway.
MIT. He's a genius when it comes to cryptography. But we're going to get into it, guys. Go ahead and hit the like button. Subscribe down below. Shout out to Algorand. They have been a phenomenal company to work with, to work alongside. I've been helping with their marketing for months now. And just wanted to have that full disclosure with you guys, full transparency. I am invested in Algorand, but I'm also working with them to help their marketing push and get the word out, because there's a lot of layer ones out there. But I want to present to you guys something that came across the desk the other day that I found really fascinating. And again, hit that like button, subscribe down below. If you guys are already in Algorand, let me know your thoughts on all of this down below as well. But let me go into my bookmarks, because I put this in here. And it came out from the Algorand Foundation not too long ago. And it has to do with quantum computing. And quantum computing poses a risk to Bitcoin. We've heard this narrative quite a bit, and other blockchains, as recently warned by BlackRock. But Cointelegraph recently put out an article saying Algorand is ahead of the competition. Algorand is doing the most when it comes to being ready for quantum computing. And it says here, Algorand has already integrated Falcon, backed by encryption that could hold up even if quantum machines go live tomorrow. So it says here, quantum computing just still feels like a future problem. The crypto industry is already gearing up for it, and the efforts underway are more serious than most people realize. So one of the most talked about proposal is something called QRAMP. And this idea is to push users to move their coins from older, potentially vulnerable wallet formats into addresses protected by newer quantum-safe algorithms. It would require a hard fork, so it's no small lift, but it's a serious plan to future-proof the network before a so-called Q-Day sneaks up. And Algorand, for example, they've already integrated Falcon. They're already ready for this. This means transactions on Algorand are already being backed by encryption that could hold up even if quantum machines go live tomorrow. That's pretty amazing when you consider, you know, how fast technology is moving today and how quickly things could change. Now, when it comes to
CryptoWalk pointing out that he is paid to promote them. I think it's good that he's putting this out there and actually saying it up front, because like the Crypto Wendio made one of these videos too, and I think that's good, because you know what, marketing push. You definitely want to get people talking about it, and someone with a $200,000 subscriber account, that's good to see. And you know, Crypto Wendio is up there too, in like 250, 260. And you know, I'm making some videos for them too. I'm not putting them on my own channel, I'm putting them on their channel. And that doesn't really affect, as you've seen, there's plenty of things I critiqued today. So as you see, it's not really affecting my coverage, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think it's great that they're disclosing it though. I think that's really important. And so I don't have a problem if someone's actually saying, hey, plus what he's saying isn't untrue. Like so far, this is all stuff I've covered on my channel. My next video for the foundation is on this topic as well. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but I just did. So it is what it is. You know, I don't have a problem with it, because I will call them out when they need to be called out.
Algorand, from a price standpoint, We are ranked right around the 50 range. Algorand right now ranked at 52, sitting just below a $2 billion market cap. And when we look into Algo a little bit deeper, we'll find that this chart has a lot of room behind it. The all-time high was set back 6 years ago in 2019 at $3.28. We're currently sitting at 21 cents, guys. So when we're looking at altcoins,
really important point there, though. That is from the botched launch. Like, so it's never organically hit that amount. It launched at 328 and then it crashed immediately, as you can see. Well, he's showing the chart. He's got the chart right in front of him. You can see it right down there. CryptoWalk says not a big Zach Humphreys guy. He never does deep dives into projects. He only makes videos for clicks and money. It's not good. This is the first time I've ever seen him. I don't know anything about him other than this video. What I've seen is the 3 minutes and 18 seconds so far. And thankfully it's a short video, so we don't have to spend all day on this. But yeah, that should be like right in front of his face. You know, when I had DZ on my channel from the BitBoy Crypto channel, he pointed out this botched launch and yeah, that's bad. CryptoWalk says, yeah, but you're talking the projects out with your audience. Yeah. Snail says, that's why we're lucky to have Frugal BC. Well, I appreciate that, Snail. Anyway, let's get back to this one.
When I'm looking at altcoins, and I think this goes for most people, you're trying to find assets that are way down from their all-time high, that have staying power, that are actively building, that have a lot going on. And Algorand is certainly one of those. And again, you know, sitting here at, 93% down from its all-time high, there's a lot of room to run here for Algorand. Now, I mentioned there were some other things I wanted to throw in there as well as it relates to Algorand. I think it came out from Nansen recently. Let me see here if I can find it for us. Nansen, Algorand. It was our most recent post. Here it is. Algorand just clocked 1 million daily transactions, 108,000 active addresses, up nearly 30% in a day. Low fees, growing usage, and one wallet, TravelX, driving serious volume. The chain may not always trend, but the numbers don't lie. So I mentioned RWA is a big piece to what Algorand's doing. TravelX is a company built on the Algorand blockchain. They are tokenizing airline tickets. So shout out to Algorand X and the Algorand Foundation for backing these kind of products and companies up. A lot of nuanced companies building on Algorand's blockchain in the RWA space. Meld is another company I really like. They're tokenizing gold. So I just think Algorand has a lot going for it. But the big reason why I think they're underrated is they are quantum ready. They are ready for quantum computing. And that, to me, is going to be a massive, massive, feather in their cap as this becomes more of a prevalent issue and something we're going to have to deal with in crypto down the line. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. Also, before we get up on out of here, come on over and trade with us, guys.
Yeah, okay, we're not gonna give him extra promotion there, but I'll give it a like. It's pretty solid. I mean, the one thing I thought was a little weird was if I was evaluating all-time high, I would look at the more natural price appreciation that happened in the last cycle more than I would like the botched launch price. And that was pretty obvious looking at the chart. I don't know if he just passed over that or, didn't really want to bring that up because he was being paid to do that video. But yeah, overall, pretty solid video. I'll link you guys the video because, I think that's fair. I'm always about giving some love to, and I'm sharing it with the generic one so it comes up on Twitch and on YouTube. Yeah, overall, pretty solid video, pretty light. But I thought he made some important points. I'm a big fan of the quantum readiness. I think that's really important. And also, I don't know if I quite agree with his stance on the all-time high. Like I said, I would focus on the last cycle and its high there. We were at 260 something. I think that's I've always been saying $2 to $3 is pretty realistic. $3 to $5 is maybe like a stretch goal for this next cycle, assuming we have this, if this alt season ever comes up. CryptoWalk asking what NFT or a non-fungible domain is. Well, that's essentially the naming service on Algorand. There was another one called Algorand naming service that I actually used at first because I didn't know the difference, and it didn't work anywhere. Whereas non-fungible domains works everywhere, and we have vaults and segments too that they offer there. They are a sponsor of the show, and we're happy to have them because they don't have a coin, by the way. They just deliver a product, and I like that. So. CryptoWalk says every corporation on chain that needs quantum protection are going to race to the quantum resistant chains starting next year. I think that's going to be a really important factor. I agree with that.